Hi, this is Mark Barron. I'm going to document the three engine failures that I've had on the Air Conception 130. It's an Ultra 130. I bought it in September or October of 2016, and its serial number, I believe, is 703. I didn't realize what the problem was until obviously it started happening more frequently. So these are two of the pistons from the issues that I've had. This is the first piston that burned up on me back in August of 2017 at Jeff Pearson's fly-in. Second piston was used for something for a scout project. But we can figure out what we need to know from these two, and I have pictures from the second one that proves that it was also the same problem. What's happening, and someone pointed this out on Facebook, I can't remember his name, is the top ring will rotate from, you can see right here, if the lighting is right, there's a pin hole right there where the ring is supposed to come together, join together over that pinhole. You can see on the lower one that it is still in that position. That pinhole and the pin, if you can see it clearly, the lighting's not great here, but the top one has rotated all the way around. So the pinhole is, there's the exhaust port right there, there's an arrow right there. The pinhole is offset from the 180-degree point of the exhaust port because of these guys. But the ring is rotating around and getting snagged on the exhaust port. Either when it heats up or something, I don't know, but that ring shouldn't be rotating. That's causing a failure. You can see that happening on this piston. This is the first one that it happened. That was in August of 2017 at Jeff Pearson's fly-in. My Air Conception is a Air Conception 130, Ultra 130. I bought it in September, October of 2016. I think I bought it in September and it didn't get shipped until October because they were building them or something like that. But the serial number on it is 703. So for anyone who has an Air Conception 130 is trying to figure out whether their AC130 might have this issue, I'm assuming that anything at least before my model had this same problem. And I don't know if I haven't heard anything from the manufacturer or from the guys at Aviator PPG that the manufacturer is even aware or has fixed this issue. Okay? All right, so this is the third piston, the third engine out.
Crap. Looks like I'm buying breakfast, guys. You got to head out to the sod fields. I'm going to try and land in this field where the greenhouse is. I'll tell you when I land.
And so this is where the exhaust port is over here. And so the pin hole is right there. So we can see that there is a rotation there. There's the lower ring with the pinhole right there. And I can see the pin in there. It hasn't pushed in as far as I can tell. As far as on the lower one, I'm going to take the ring off the top and we're going to see if it's pushed in or not. That's the theory of someone on the internet. But it rotated almost 180 degrees to this point, and boom, that's where the failure was, at least as far as I can tell. And the exhaust port is right there. And when I look at the jug or the cylinder, I can see that it's been damaged on the inside. I'll put a couple screenshots in the video. And it looks like, well, that could just be a break. I can't really tell where the end of the ring is. It looks like it's cut at a 90-degree angle, so it's a clean cut. That is broken, I can see. That's broken. That's broken. And that's broken, and that's broken. So I can't see where it would have come together. I'm thinking that's where, somewhere in there, those pieces that are missing that have bounced around are probably where the two ends came together. All right, so now let's start taking this apart if we can, and see if that pin, you can see where it's sitting flush. So if I do this, does that help? The ring is sitting flush against the piston, and it should have a little bounce like this, and that's what keeps it against the cylinder wall. But that is pretty well flush. In fact, it's even pushed in, but that could be just from the breakage too. So let's take this apart. Let's see. So I'm going to take the top ring off. Alright, top ring is off. And you can see that that pin, I don't know if you can see it very well, but that pin is pushed flush all the way in. So it's pushed all the way in. And the theory on the internet, and I believe it now, is that the holes drilled for these pins are actually deeper than the pins are long. So over time, if it rotates around, or even, to start it rotating around, that pin is being pushed into the hole and then allowing that ring to rotate around. Alright, so that's one piston proven. That is the issue. Not proven, but at least that's my theory. Alright, let's try and get this one off now. Alright, and confirmation, again, if you can see it, is that pin is pushed all the way in. Alright, and I can see it right there. Yeah, can you see it? Maybe if I hold it like that, you can see it. It's pushed, definitely pushed in. Alright, now, just for giggles, let's go ahead and take the lower ring off. At least bend it out of the way. Alright, there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that with the screwdriver and see if it goes in. Yeah, it's not going in for just hand pressing. If I get a hammer though, I wonder if it'll go in. Let me go get a hammer. See what happens if I push that in. Because who knows, maybe that's been sheared off. I don't know. It looks a little odd. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so I just went out in the garage and gave it a nice little tap, and it wasn't even that hard of a tap, and yes, it went and receded in all the way. That's the lower ring pin right there, if you can kind of see it since I'm rotating it. It's nested in. So that's a problem, and what I'm worried about is the piston that I just put in the motor to fix this problem probably has the same problem. There's no way to test it without ruining the piston, I don't think. I don't think I can remove that pin in any way with any like pliers or anything like that without damaging it. And if I were to push it in like I have with this, I'll never get it out. So I would damage or ruin the piston if I pushed it in on the one that's in my motor. So what do? Do I continue to fly it and just hope for the best? Okay, so I want to make one thing very clear. I'm not out to embarrass or to cause any problems for air conception or aviator PPG or anybody like that. My intent here is just to make safe paramotoring for everyone, and this problem could be part of a multitude of problems that just gets exacerbated by one or another problem, throttling too hard or too long, or overheating, or there's all kinds of things that could be happening here. But I think that this is one contributing factor that can be fixed. So I think if we knock out these contributing factors one by one, we will have a safe environment, more safe environment than we had before. Let's face it, paramotoring is still, pretty much in its infancy. It's been around for a little while, but we're still learning, and I get that. So please take my feedback as constructive, and hopefully we can make a better sport out of this. All right, thanks. All right, so Mark here again. Post edit. So while I was editing this video, I noticed when I pulled these rings off that I could actually see where the manufactured ends were. So if I reconstruct this and kind of figure out that this one, the first one, rotated all the way around, because it was pretty much kept whole, all the way around to the exhaust port, and then this part broke off on the exhaust port. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what I thought was interesting is I keep thinking it's the exhaust port, but I want to correct myself because this one came off of, let's see, I have the bottom one jumped up on the top. Let me fix that. Okay, so this one, when I pried it off in the video, I pried it off. What did I do? It was right here. So when I pried it off, yes, it had rotated, and there's the pin hole right there. But it didn't rotate all the way around to the exhaust port. It rotated to this port here, which there is a port there. And when I looked at the pictures down in the cylinder, that does look like where the failure started. So you can see that it is raised right there, and that's where it crunched. I think it also crunched here, but I think this is where it caught, because I think it's going to catch where this comes apart. And I don't know. I want to make it clear that I'm not a mechanic. I don't work on two-strokes as often. Everything I'm saying in this video is just my theory based on just, the information I have. So hopefully this is helpful, and I don't know if it'll work or not. I also want to point out that while I was editing, I want to point out and give a shout out to the guys at Aviator PPG. Travis and Kyle have been excellent. Their service and support, I think, is by far the best I've ever had with any company I've ever dealt with. If I have a problem, they try and fix it. These manufacturing problems are certainly not the problem or the fault of Aviator PPG. And, I don't fault the air conception guys either. I want to make sure that I'm pointing out that this problem does exist. I've never seen anything on the internet that documents this problem like this, so I'm hoping that this helps our community. So, cool. All right. See ya.